That's right, guys. This shit is happening. This is really fucking happening. Oh, wow.
We've been waiting so long for this day.
Are you ready to discuss and nerd the out about Game of Thrones? Are you ready? You've been so ready? Great. All right. Let's get started. Oh, goodness. I thought I just fucking muted the alerts. Right as I did that, I get to find out that that is not the case. Wow. Glad it's not coming. Yo, thank you for 9 months. That is a stream, baby. I don't know why this actually played that. That was weird. Pause. Pause. You got something important to say, Ghost Dog? Oh boy. Okay. So as you will see, Game of Thrones spoiler warning is up. It is up. If anyone comes in and says that they are audio only, let's real quick tag them and be like, yo, be careful. Game of Thrones spoilers are about to get all spoily, okay? I want to let people know what the fuck is happening. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone. I know, like, the other stuff that we're going to talk about, it's been going on for a long time or whatever. Like, the rest of the seasons 1 through 7, they've had time. I get it. But I don't care. I don't want to spoil this amazing show for anyone because this is the only show that has ever been able to make me feel like some kind of way, man. I'm saying. I can't even tell you how emotional I got when it started. And the whole time I'm thinking like, this isn't what I do. I don't get emotional over like fictional stuff usually. At least not the intro before we even get to the stuff where it's like, wow, you should be crying over this, you know? But like, I'm watching the very first fucking minutes of this show. I'm hearing the intro and I'm getting all like, what the fuck? What kind of show does that? Game of Thrones does that. All right. So listen, here's what we're going to do for this. So I got, I rewatched it today and I took notes. So we're just going to go scene by motherfucking scene through the entire season 8, episode 1. Same all back, but because like I know my boyfriend doesn't get as excited. Ah, shit! I just threw my phone on the ground a little bit. Because I know my boyfriend doesn't get as excited over Game of Thrones, I like tried to hold back. I think if my little sister was in the room, because like she and I are both a little bit more emotional creatures, I might have like cried right away. You know? I might have. Anyway, I want to start things off strong. So, and I will be making a highlight of this. I'm going to throw this on YouTube. What's up? So make sure that you're following this. I think it would make sense to put this on the She Snaps YouTube channel since it's not really related to like the mindfulness and all the kind of shit that's going to go on the Mind of Snaps one. Yeah, this one. And Ghost Dog, thank you for 21. I'm not going to be doing all the shout outs for everyone's stuff during this because it's going to be going to YouTube, you know. I want to keep us on task so we can kind of hustle through this. Like, I'm not going to rush you as we discuss it, but I do want to, you know, I don't want the entire day to be like off limits for people who don't watch this. And I just had a random thought. Do you ever start your day and think like, wait a minute, did I put deodorant on today? No? Just me? Okay. Well, I'll be right back while I just double up just in case. Ghost Dog, thank you again. You do that all the time? Okay, good. Y'all are making me feel a little better. I usually, if I'm traveling, I make sure I keep deodorant on me. Okay, So first things first, before we even get into like our full-on discussion, one of the things I really wanted to do is see if I could easily enough sync up the opening credits from previous seasons versus this one. Because that was the first thing that stood out to me. There was a whole lot of like, what the heck? What is going on? Where is that? What is that? Like, I was freaking, dude. So I imagine you guys were likely feeling the same. And I feel like if we can get these right next to each other with me like out of the way, this could be really interesting to see all of the differences like as they're happening, right? Okay, paused. We're gonna have to do that one and that one. Oh, that's cool, 6 to midnight. If you want to drop that in the Game of Thrones spoiler channel in Discord, I can grab it and we can always look at that too. Okay, so the timing is going to be tough. So this is 141 and this is 157. What does that even mean? Why? To the Oreo one? What you talking about? Okay, let's see if I can do this without fucking it up. So this one seems longer, so... It just jumps right into it? Wow. Okay, so maybe this one? Damn it, this is tough. They really both kind of like jump right into it. Okay. Is there a button for autoplay? Is there a side-by-side? Someone probably made a side-by-side. Wait, that's in Lego? I don't want that. Damn, there is no side-by-side yet? People gotta get their shit together. Yeah, sorry, good game, Yummy. I don't want to spoil anything for you. We'll only be doing this for a couple hours, probably. You can post the link. I just won't be clicking on it because it's Oreo stuff. Set the second one on 5 seconds and pause it. Oh, smart! Okay, okay, all of the spoiling. Just for reference though, I'm gonna be going through my notes from the episode and then we'll just go wild with it, okay? Let's see if we can do this. Damn it, which one's just a little ahead? This is so challenging! Because they sound so close now, don't they? I am a nerd, dude. Okay, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck all of this. It's too much. We're just gonna start with the original opening credits. Which we know changed throughout the seasons, right? Just mute one, but it's not the same. I already fucked it up, plus I already fucked it up. Okay, so like, we know that this shit is the stuff from, what the fuck is it called? The Citadel, right? No, because I really want to see, I haven't seen the old one in a while. And I forgot how... Like, it was already very intricate. They updated it as the seasons went on, which was really cool. And then this new season started, and shit got real fucking crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Wait, based on what we'll see in the episode? I thought it was based on what we'll see in the season. Because, like, after Winterfell was taken over and, like, burned to the ground, basically, like, I remember it changing from that. Okay, so, like, I want to pay attention to that. So we saw the stag, we saw some battling. That shit looked weird on the new one. Oh, man, and the wall still stood. Completely, you know, all the way. Episode by episode. Yo, shut the fuck up. Although I guess that would make sense though, because the Winterfell thing wasn't something that happened at the beginning of the season, yeah. The scenes on the band, I noticed that, but I didn't have enough time to pay attention to what the new detail was. Okay, so this was the OG, one of the OGs. This is official opening credits. And then this is like this season's, which I'm still so blown away by. Man, I know their attention to detail is nuts. Okay, so as soon as this started, did anyone else start like internally screaming? Just me? So we see that winter is definitely here. Definitely. Oh, my eyeballs are so dry. I even put in eye drops today. Externally screamed. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of like screeching. Oh, that's what the new bands are? Interesting. I would love to see how they made this. Like, it's so cool. This is the first time they'd ever shown the crypts before, right? In the fucking... Okay, what is this shit? Like, what? What the fuck? Oh, no. Oh, no. Fuck these dudes. Yo. Ugh, too soon. It'll always be too soon. Holy shit. Oh, they even have Cersei's new doohab in there, the floor. Yeah, go ahead and drop the link. That's fine, 6 to midnight. And what was that all about? Is that the fucking... Is this just the thing that they created to, like, murder the dragons? Is that all that was, is the weapon? Like a reminder that they have that? Okay, so now we've got dragons. We got the thing in the sky. Cool. Okay, so since, like, everything got updated, this was one of the first things I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, like, all of the shit got updated, but one of the things that stayed the same was this main thing. Like, between the 4 houses, they kept the stag there. So, is that somehow indicative of, like, Gendry having a larger role in this moving forward? That was the first thing I thought. Like, everything else has been updated. If anything, they could have made this a fucking 3-part thing, right? Okay, so that was that. Now that we done did it, we can get back in and I can keep this little alert up about the spoilers. And I'll put on this fucking pretzel rock stuff. Yes, Maddie Lee, yes. We do still have a Baratheon, yeah, absolutely. But, like, I figured, like I said, if he was irrelevant in it, then they would have removed it, you know? Because, like, the rest of his house is gone. Stairs in Bran. Oh my god. And Bad Karma Lucky, thank you again for the resub. Dude, I can't even with that. Can't even. Can't even. Literally one. Yeah. He's our last one. That's what I was thinking. Like, he's a bastard, right? So if anything, he shouldn't be showing there because he doesn't really have a claim, right? In theory? I don't know. Yeah, like, the old dude wasn't as creepy when he was the 3-eyed raven, right? Like, he was a little, you know, a little brief with his stuff, a little cryptic, but he wasn't as, like, what the fuck? That's a good point, Yaga. That's a good point. Shit, that's the fucking truth. That's the fucking truth. Oh. But, like, for Jon to legitimize him, well, he can't do that anymore now that he's not a king, right? What's swooning? Aw, like fainting. Okay. So, we're gonna get right into this first fucking episode. So, the opening scene started off with the little nod to like both Arya and Bran, which I thought was cool because they've got like the little boy running around, and I'm immediately like kind of freaking out, like, oh my god, this is so cool. And it was like, you know, it's been a while since we've watched the previous season, however fucking long it's been. So I couldn't quite put two and two together right away. Like, it took a few seconds, and I start seeing the shields going past, and then I was like, oh, I remember what's happening right now. And then I because, you know, they kind of have those like nipple looking shields. So we see a bunch of nipple shields, and then it clicks like, oh shit, we are about to witness some fucking reunions here. But I didn't even fully put together again. And this is crazy because like I rewatched all of Game of Thrones before watching this. So like this should be fresher in my mind. I wasn't even, maybe I was. I was going to say I wasn't even high, but I might have been. Yeah, I probably was. Anyway, noticed the nipple shields, got super excited, was like, holy shit, dudes. Daenerys and fucking Jon Snow are about to arrive back in Winterfell. Like, we are really popping off with some of my favorite characters all together. And then, like, we go straight to them. We see this view of them walking through or riding through, and it was so cool. And I was so excited thinking he was going to, like, look down and see Arya standing in the crowd. But I was like, oh, no. He's, like, trained now to be, even though he's not the king anymore, he was, you know, he's trained now to act like nobility, right? So he doesn't even look at the people on the sides. He just, like, stays straight focused ahead. And Arya was like, oh. That made me a little sad, but whatever. You know, they were going to be back together again, and that made me very happy. Arya, after that, sees the Hound, then sees Gendry, then we see Tyrion and Varys, and that was so great. I was so excited. And one thing that did stand out to me, and it was funny that Varys commented on it, why does Tyrion make so many jokes about him being mutilated and losing his balls, but then gets so salty anytime anyone comments on him being a dwarf? Like, there is a bit of a double standard there, Sir Tyrion. Rude. Anyway. The one thing that they made sure to, like, that was funny, that they made sure to, like, make evident as everyone was walking in, and especially you see it when you see Grey Worm and Missandei, is you see all of these crowds, and they're not looking up with reverence, like, wow, this is so cool. The queen, you know, is coming to hang out. We're gonna see, like, the largest army we've ever heard existed. Instead, everyone's just like, they were just so uninterested, right? Varys did have him shipped in a box to protect his ass. Varys also had to throw his poopy overboard that whole time. But he does get salty because he always calls it out. Whenever someone comments on his height, he always calls it out. Like, it's clear he is still a little sensitive about it. Oh my god, yes, Manali. Again, dude, so we're going to be going through this in order of the episode, and then we'll bounce all over the place, right? Because otherwise, we'll talk about a million things, and we won't discuss some of the meat of it. So I want to make sure we're not overlooking anything, because I am nerding the fuck out about this, if you haven't noticed, and I really get excited. So, I loved that everyone was kind of looking at them all sketched out, and then right after that, the dragons show up, and most people are freaked out, but then you see Arya, who is like, because remember all the shit that she had with Tywin Lannister, their weird little fucking relationship, and how she was naming all of the dragons, and it was clear that she admired the badass warrior women that used to ride dragons into battle. So seeing her look up at them, I was like, oh my god, if I ever see Arya ride a dragon, I will just, I don't even know, I'll rip my own heart out and throw it on the ground, because another moment will never come that will be better than that. Totally, Schwaggy. Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely, there's no way you can blame them for thinking, especially in this case, that an outsider is bad. Like, all of their fucking ancestors and stuff, all of the bannermen from the north had fought to uproot the Mad King because he was fucking crazy, right? Understandably so. They were very uninterested in all of these new people coming in, and they did not seem thrilled to see the dragons for sure. Sansa, when she saw the dragons going overhead, I was kind of interested because she had a look of like not shock, but like, you know, because Sansa just seems to be sizing everything up these days, which is really dope. Really dope. So then we oh, and one of the things I liked too is that when you see the dragons going overhead, it's like a really cool reminder of just how secluded Winterfell really is. Because like they soar overhead and then you see that it's like Winterfell and like the Godswood, and then it's just wilderness. And it looks outrageous. Hi. Oh my gosh. Sansa has definitely become... Well, a lot of them died, right? Like the majority of the people at Winterfell like died. So maybe not their ancestors, but like their families. I should have worded that better, Thomas. Okay, so Jon makes it to the courtyards in Winterfell, sees his brother, gets excited, gets his horse to gallop for all of like 3 feet so that he can hop off and go say what's up. And he goes and gives him a kiss, and he says those words, "You're a man now." And Bran not Bran responds with the almost. And Jon's like, huh. But he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So I imagine Jon Snow's probably thinking like, well, maybe he's not, you know, maybe he's a little insecure. You know, maybe he feels like he's not a full-on adult man yet. I don't know. Like he clearly like was like, we'll deal with this later. We'll figure out what that means exactly. Bran is basically a USB stick at this point. Oh, wow. That got a Santa laugh because it's weird and funny. So like Jon goes up and says hi, and you see Daenerys in the back doing something that seems so like not normal for her, where she's kind of just like standing there, like almost awkwardly waiting, clearly smiling. And this almost like made me feel bad when she comes up to get introduced to Sansa, and she is like beaming, smiling at her, you know, like she was clearly excited to meet, we won't get into their relationship, but to meet, you know, her man's fucking sister, so that she can make a good impression and they can all get along and stuff. And she goes up all smiley, "You're beautiful, you're great." And Sansa's just like, "The North is yours, Your Grace." And she's like, I kind of felt a little bad. But at the same time, Sansa has been through some shit. She's seen some shit, so I do not blame her. But it was an interesting, like, conflicting moment where I'm like, Sansa's a badass. And I was like, Khaleesi, she just wanted to meet her family, her BF's family, not realizing that they're kind of related anyway. It was weird. Anyway, so they're doing the like eyeball fucking of each other, and then Bran is just like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Buzzkill Bran now." And he's like, "Hey, don't forget, you know how your dragon, one of your children, just died? Well, the Night King turned it, so your dragon is his dragon now. And the wall has fallen, and the dead march on Winterfell." And everyone's like, "Okay, like we couldn't have had a snack before you threw that at us, Buzzkill Bran? Like we couldn't have gotten inside and gotten near a fire, maybe, you know, prolonged this awkward stare between Sansa and Khaleesi, maybe, possibly." It's just like, nah, we don't have time for this. Guess what? Shit's getting real. Yeah, it does. And like, you know, my boyfriend, he wasn't like not thrilled. He liked the episode, but I think he was expecting action. And I was like, dude, you have to expect episodes like this because they have so much to build up. There is so much going on between all of the different characters. Like, we can't just jump into action. There's a lot that has to precede that. So this was another one of those episodes of like, let's catch up. Let's give you a very good reminder of where we're at and set the tone for like some of the shit we're gonna see next. But yeah, Buzzkill Bran pops up, does the shit. So we move on to the next scene, and we're in the Great Hall. Sansa's called in all the banners. She's like, I called on everyone as soon as we heard about all the shit going down. Let's talk. And she calls upon Lord Umber, who's just a little peanut. And there's like that weird, another kind of tense moment. Like they're really highlighting this interesting power struggle of Sansa, Jon, and Daenerys, which is it's like, ooh, this is tense, but I like it. So like little Lord Umber comes up and says what's up, and then he's like, my lady, my lord, your grace. And everyone's like, and Khaleesi's like, mm-hmm. So it was a little weird. And then Lil badass fucking Mormont, that amazing little fucking badass. God, she's so cool. What is her name? I can't think of her name. Lady Mormont, whatever the fuck her name is. She just looks around all scowly and is like, I come from Bear Island. Let me just pop up Lyanna. Yeah, Lyanna, because Aunt's name too. Or, yeah, Mom. Wow. Anyway, so she steps up and she's like, hey, so P.S., by the way, when you left, you were a king and now what the fuck? What the fuck? So she calls out some what the fucks. The people in the room are all like, here. Little lady has more balls than any of us. And then, you know, simple reminder from Jon, hey, allies or death, remember this. Like, you know, this isn't about the fucking Iron Throne anymore. This isn't about titles. This is all about us, like, trying to not die. Can we focus on the not dying part? Tyrion, for whatever reason, believed this was a great opportunity for him to speak, which, like, he did a great job, of course, but I think he underestimates just how much everybody from the North probably hates the fuck out of him. So Tyrion steps up and is like, hey, everyone, by the way, Jon Snow's really great. Like, he did a lot for us. He sacrificed a bunch. By the way, the Lannister army is going to be meeting us soon. And everyone's like, I'm sorry, what? Gets a little salty. Again, lots of bad blood. Understandably so. But then he has to do the same thing and remind them of the same thing that Jon reminded them of, like, we must fight together now or we'll die. Just a very simple thing. That seemed to shut them up. But then Sansa was like, this is a good opportunity for me to get a little sassy here. So, by the way, we had enough food, which is like a very valid thing to be concerned about. We had enough food for only a certain amount of time. And now you brought literally the largest army that we've ever seen and 2 fucking dragons. So how do we feed them and what do dragons even eat? Which, like, who asks a question like that? Do you not know what dragons eat? Come on, they're not on a vegan diet. Like, you know, they're big-ass dragons. They're gonna go around, fly, and fucking burn some shit and eat it. And that's when Daenerys was just, you know, apparently a little tired of the sass and was... whatever they want. Like, yeah. That's what I figured, Allbeck. Like, if anything, the dragons should be able to, like, go and hunt, right? And help out. Like, grab your dragons, grab something that they can carry or something. I don't know how you put a fucking wagon on a dragon wagon. But, like, can they not help? There are a lot of people that need to eat. There's only so much ground you can cover on horseback. Dragons, though... I did watch this again this morning. Yeah, because I needed to make notes so that I could talk about it without just, like, pointing at everyone's messages in chat going, oh, yeah, and then that, and then that, and then that. So that's what I did this morning. I had a nice big old cup of King's Coast coffee. And, yeah, I sat and watched Game of Thrones and made notes, scene by scene. Okay. So that, we've covered so far just the very opening scene and then the scene in the Great Hall. Is there anything specific to those 2 scenes that you guys want to talk about now? Anything about what went down there that stood out to you? Yeah, but they also did say that, like, the dragons are smarter than men even. Like, Tyrion said that, right? Some people say that the dragons were very smart, even smarter than men or something like that. And he went and talked to them and took their collars off and stuff. And they were like, oh, cool, we're buds now. So I wonder if there's anything that they can do. Like, hey, dragons, we gonna be needing some food here. Can you help us out? And then maybe the dragons would be like, okay, and then go help out. I don't know, man. I don't know how much they can, like, converse with them. But clearly there's some kind of, like, fucking mind meld between Khaleesi and the dragon, which is really cool. Yeah, and he sensed it somehow, right? That was one of the things, I think they talked about that in the books, too. That there's, like, a sense that they have, especially Drogon and Daenerys. Okay, so wait, by the way, was it Rhaegal that got... Or was it Viserion? Because Viserion's the green one, right? So that was Rhaegal? Cool. Oh, wait, I mixed them up. So it was Viserion that died, and Rhaegal is the one that's still alive? Rhaegal's the green one? Because that makes it even more interesting considering the bomb we discussed later, that's going to come up later. Okay. How fitting, too, since he's named after Viserys. What a creep. So, Jon got to ride the fucking dragon that was named after his dad. Whoa. Okay. I was trying to remember that, and I forgot to look up the dragon's names. Like, obviously everyone knows Drogon, but... Okay. What do I think about the role of women in the show? On the one hand, they're things and tools and prizes, but on another, they're powerful in making moves. I love it, Calc Dave. I love, for the most part, the way that women are portrayed in this show, because there are so many times where I sit there and, like, pump my fists, like, yeah, girl power! Because they're clearly not valued, but it doesn't change their view of themselves. Instead, they're like, listen, this is how things are gonna go. Like with Cersei deciding that she's just gonna be queen, don't need no king. Like, she was not about to have anyone try and tell her that she didn't have claim to that throne, even though it went against everything that, like, their laws and everything kind of dictate at that time. Yeah, the one named after her asshole brother, indeed. Interesting. Poor Roz, right? Dude, did you... By the way, okay, we'll get into that part later, because we'll talk about when they go flying and stuff. But there was a video I saw on Twitter today. I don't remember if I saved it anywhere. But the Kit Harington, the dude who plays Jon Snow, was talking about how he was riding the, like, bucking thing to film that scene. And yes, dude, he fucking, like, pinched one of his balls on him and was, like, hurting himself. So in the scene where he's kind of, like, floating around and everything, he's, like, hanging by a ball. Poor dude. Yeah, dude. I mean, but look at all of the people who we're most excited about right now. It's, like, Arya, Sansa, fucking Khaleesi, obviously, and Cersei. Like, all of these badass women. And even before that, then we were battling the women from, why can't I think of it? Where Prince Oberyn is from. My brain just broke. And, like, the fucking Queen of Thorns and shit. Dorne, thank you. Like, everywhere we go, we seem to meet another woman who is a badass. Or even Missandei. Like, she went through some shit, and yet she still had this very cool, like, confident, it is what it is kind of vibe about her. Viserys wasn't such a bad guy, he was just misunderstood. Yeah, he was a cockbag. I wouldn't wish for anyone to have to hang from a ball. For real. I know, Oleana. I love all the memes of that with cats, by the way. Tell Cersei, I want her to know it was me. That was such a fucking Oh man, when that scene went down, I'm pretty sure I was screaming. Cersei's not trending? Wow. Wow. Dude, there is a lot to talk about with that, for sure, for sure. Okay, so if there's nothing relating to the initial couple scenes of the show, we're gonna move on. So now we're in the next scene. We're in the courtyard. Wagons of obsidian, you know, dragon glass are being brought in. Gendry is out there. I love how these characters always wind up like running the show in whatever their respective roles are. Like, is he the best blacksmith they have now? Because he was just like, do this with that, do this with that. Is this all we have? And then he went to work. Like, is he the boss of that now? Whatever. Anyway, so like Tyrion's chilling out. He sees Sansa talking to the dude who handles all the Knights of the Vale, and he goes over to talk to her. So he addresses her, Lady of Winterfell, and she addresses him, Hand to the Queen. And it's like, oh boy, this is interesting, because Tyrion was very kind to her, given everything, right? And she did not have much of a choice. She had to dip the fuck out during that wedding fiasco. But oh my god, if you guys did not love the fuck out of this moment, the last time I saw you was at Joffrey's wedding, a miserable affair. And Sansa's like, it had its moments. Like, you know, when the dude who I was supposed to marry, who is the reason why my wolf got killed, you know, how he just got poisoned and like puked all over the place and his face looked like it was going to explode. That was great. Loved it. And then, like, he makes a comment about her leaving and how it was difficult for him to explain that. And for a second there, like, it seems like old Sansa, apologetic, like, kind young woman who's basically being groomed to be a lady, you know, and ladies are kind of seen and not heard, right? So she has this moment of, like, what looks like she was about to elaborate on why she had to leave, and then she just, like, holds it in, and she's just like, we both survived. Like, I'm not gonna try and justify any of this. I was in a shitty spot. You were in a shitty spot. I dipped the fuck out. It needed to happen. Great. And then he comments on how many underestimated her and they're all dead now, which is the truth. Because they didn't consummate and nothing ever severed their marriage. But she did consummate with Ramsay. So I imagine that a maester probably annulled her first wedding to Tyrion, and then because she got married to Ramsay and he was a disgusting monster, I think if anything, like, that would have still been valid if Ramsay hadn't been eaten by doggos. Those doggos are Enzo, by the way. That's the same breed, just wanted to let you know. Yeah, I don't think she wants any of that. And there's still speculation that she's pregnant, which I am not, like, who knows, man? The way that she talked to Littlefinger last season, where she said something about how I can still feel in my body what he did to me. Like, it could absolutely have been a reminder of, like, the physical trauma that she suffered, because obviously he was a monster. But a lot of people think that it was her basically saying, like, she's pregnant. So it's interesting. The thing that was really funny, though, is that Sansa has had a shit show, right? Like, she has had a shit existence. Things have been really tough for her, but she learned so much from Cersei's cruelty that it clearly, like, aged her and helped her. So when Tyrion's all like, I know you're upset about my sister coming here, as if they're just, like, old high school rivals or something, and not that, like, Cersei and her family murdered, you know, all of the Starks that got killed. He seems to genuinely believe that she's gonna go because of the, like, pregnancy hints from Cersei. So then Sansa's response of, like, I used to think you were the cleverest man alive, as she walks away, was very comical, because we obviously already know the truth. Cersei has no intentions of going to help them. Tyrion fully fucking believes it, and believes that she is doing it because of all the, like, tummy patting and stuff, like, this is nice. I got a baby on the way. I totally want to come and help you guys by traveling to the north and sending our armies there and protecting the realm and all of that, you know? So Tyrion's clearly a little like stumped, but then he looks down at the courtyard and he sees Bran chilling there, just staring at him, and that's where the scene ends. The last time they saw each other, he was kind to him. He made the saddle thing. So I wonder if Bran and Tyrion having that little moment of like eye locking, if there's something that Bran has to share with Tyrion. And this goes back to something a lot of you guys were saying. Like, the books kind of make it seem as though maybe Tyrion is a Targaryen as well. So maybe there's some kind of news going on in that. I don't know. And about Cersei's pregnancy, I have no idea if it's real or not. Like, the scene with her and Euron, which we'll get to in a little bit, kind of, I don't know. It's tough. It's very tough. So I don't know if there's anything that's going to go on between Bran and Tyrion, but that was kind of one of the things that stood out to me on that, is like, one, Sansa has clearly learned. She even commented on that in the previous season when she killed Littlefinger, about how, like, she's a slow learner, but she learned. So clearly she figured some shit out. She knows enough about Cersei to know she's not going anywhere. And she clearly thinks it's silly that Tyrion has not figured it out. Was Bran in that same spot the entire time? You know, for someone who gets visions, you'd think he'd be able to narrow it down, right? Like, was he sitting in that spot for like 2 days waiting for Jaime to show up? Could he not have like rolled himself out there maybe like 20 minutes before he arrived? You know, did he really have to be there the whole time? I'm gonna roll a joint while we're talking about this. Is that what it was? 6 to midnight? He just needed a little hand? Oh, man, seeing him without Hodor near him, though, is, like, really, really heartbreaking. Excuse you? Shh. Hush! Hold, please. Oh, that felt great. Okay, buds, I don't know what you were borking at. I see nothing. What am I seeing there? What is that? Wish I could zoom in on this. Well, I don't know what that is, dudes, but I'm sure it's nothing we gotta worry about. Anyway. I don't think it's strange. 6 to midnight. I just think it's maybe not like a super necessary part of it yet. Okay. So we're on the next scene, friends. We're on the next scene. Wait, what did I miss? There's a theory about... Oh, about the dragon? Yeah, we'll get to that once we get to that part of this, okay? Mud dragons eat whatever they want, right? Hey, bud, can you stop slobbing on your knobs so we can have a nice discussion, please? Thank you. Enzo. Okay, I like all of them. I like this whole frickin' show. Okay, we'll get to that in a second, 6 to midnight, because there's another part in this that kind of brings up that discussion point. So we're on the next scene, right? We're in the Godswood. We see Jon chilling by the weirwood tree, clearly like taking a moment to himself. And then Arya sneaks up on him and clearly like genuinely startles him. He is shocked that he's been startled. I think, if anything, like just the fact that she is a young girl, I think he really expected to hear her coming, because he definitely does not know anything about what she's been through, right? So she calls out right away about how he survived a fucking knife to the heart, and he's like, well, actually I didn't, you know, because he died and then got brought back. Then they hug, and I cried forever over it because it made me so happy to see them hugging with that like amazing beaming love that they had, like when he first gave her needle all those years ago. So that was really cool, and it was really funny that like when he asked her about her sword and she showed him needle, he's like, have you ever used it? And like, this is one of those things that cocky people do. People who are very confident, who don't have anything to prove. Instead of her being like, oh yeah, I've actually crossed off a bunch of names from my list. You know how the fucking phrase are all dead? Yeah, that was me. Like, doesn't boast, doesn't share anything. She just responds with once or twice. Like, as if she had only used it once or twice by accident or in self-defense. And then right after that, he doesn't seem to care, like, about the once or twice. He's just happy to see her. And then he goes right into basically drama. Like, John's going all drama king on us. And goes into the, I could have used your help with Sansa. Sansa thinks she's smarter than everyone. And I was so shocked and very happy that Arya right away stood up for her sister and said she's the smartest person I ever met. Like, how cool is that? And he's like, well, I'm defending our family. And she's like, yeah, but yes, we are, Jules. But so is she. And then at the end, thank you for 37. At the end, when they're hugging, did anyone else get almost an ominous vibe? Kind of like when Arya and Sansa first started like being around each other again, where they were like sizing each other up. When she's hugging him and he says, I'm your family too, she hugs and says, don't forget that. And there was something about her face where I was like, was that a little bit of like, bitch, know your place? Was that a like, you best not forget that you're a part of this family now that you're banging that queen? Did anyone else get that vibe, or did it seem purely friendly to you? Oh. She gently reminds him. But you're also very new to this series, Major. Yes, we can. So we're going scene by scene, and then we'll just go wild, okay? Yeah, totally. You thought it was kind of a subtle threat as well? No, I don't think it was about her saying, like, you're only, like, this part of the family. It felt a lot more like she was gently nudging, like, remember where your loyalties lie. A little new, very new. Yeah, that was part of the reason that he went. That was more to do with Catelyn than his siblings. Well, Sansa too, because she was a little bit of a bitch back then. Hi, Marie. I agree. Like, I think that she loves the fuck out of him, and like, just, I feel like it was a very gentle nudge. Yeah, that would make sense too, Phoenix. John being a little playful about the Sansa comments, especially given that, like, Sansa and Arya were not buds back then. Like, they pretty much hated each other. So he probably figured, like, finally, someone I can talk a little shit about my sister with, you know? Because he's not gonna talk shit about his sister to, like, the men that are there, to the people in the camp, to the people at Winterfell. So he was probably a little bit relieved, like, whew, finally, let me tell you all this shit that I've been dealing with. And she's like, well. Interesting. I'm torn on the vibe I got from that, but it did feel like gentle. It didn't feel as much like mean, but there was something about it that did feel a little bit like check yourself, remember who you are. Okay, moving on. Enzo, quit digging. Ew, dude. Quit digging in your butthole. Gross. Get out of there. Quit licking. Where's my spray bottle? I swear, dude, I'm gonna spray you. Give me the powder. Okay. Deep breaths, guys. This is so exciting. Like Bran has seen some shit. That she fucking has. Did you hear that puppy noise? He's upset because I told him to get his balls out of his mouth. Okay. Next scene. We are at King's Landing. We're seeing Cersei on the throne again, still rocking her new style. Like she, in the beginning seasons, it was all like red and gold, right? She dressed very feminine. I think it was all because she was still playing the role that someone else had designed for her. And then as soon as she took over, she was like, I love wearing black and metal. I don't know. And we're going to talk about that in a second, Jaws. So, what are you doing, Capone? So Qyburn walks up. Oh no, this was when they were standing on the embankments. So Qyburn walks up and he's like, hey, by the way, Cersei, like the dead broke through the wall. And she looks at the ships that are showing up and she's just like, good, dope. Like, I really don't think she understood that like anyone who dies joins the army of the dead. Like they said that to her, but they didn't explain it explicitly. Like, by the way, we stood on an embankment. We watched the dude go like this, and then like 1 million people that were dead are now standing up, right? So Euron, then they switch to him. He's showing up. He's got Yara tied to the post in his chambers on the ship, and it's clear that he like really wanted to keep her for his own personal amusement. He jokes about how he wanted to have someone to talk to because the people with him are all quiet or all mutes or something. And Yara takes a moment to say, like, are we in King's Landing? You picked the losing side. And Euron is just like, oh, that doesn't matter. I'm not loyal to anyone. I'm Euron. I'm a big, arrogant asshole. So all I care about is banging the queen. And then after that, maybe we'll take the Iron Fleet anywhere else, because what the fuck, you know, who cares? Right? She really is. So then the next scene is in the King's Landing throne room, and Cersei is meeting the people from the, what do you call it? The something company? Golden Company. So Cersei has 20,000 men now, except for a handful that Euron killed because he's fucking weird. She's got 2,000 horses, and then they get to the main point, and she's like, what about the elephants? And dude tells her, so elephants traveling by ship for thousands of miles, doesn't really agree with them, and she's clearly like, I don't like you anymore. I really wonder what her reasoning is, and I feel like they emphasized this for a purpose. Right? So my thoughts are the purpose of them emphasizing the elephant thing is either to show how fixated Cersei gets when she doesn't get what she wants, or they're focusing on it because she had some kind of plan with those elephants, like maybe dragging the fucking thing that, hey, thank you for the $5 tip. You know, maybe her plan of attack against the dragons, the elephants had some kind of role in that. Again, guys, sorry for not hitting the gong and doing all the resub stuff. I want to stay on task so that we don't keep this a spoiler zone for too long today. Yeah, so do you think it was like a selfish thing? Like she just really wanted the elephants because she wanted to see them and do the things? Or is there something else that she was like really hoping for? Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, is that all it is? It was just a nod to the book readers? I didn't finish the most recent, not the final, because the final one is still getting written. I didn't finish the last available book yet. Do you think it's just like a power thing? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, so they're in the throne room. Cersei's pissed about the elephants. Euron, like, within moments of Captain Strickland, the leader of the Golden Company, leaving, he's like, hey, can we fuck? Becky, you want to smash? And Cersei was like, I don't think that's something I'm into, bro. Like, I told you the deal would be after you win the war. And he's like, wah, but wars take a long time. Wah, Becky, let me smash. And then she delivers this epic line of, you want a whore, buy one. You want a queen, earn her. Which would have been great if she hadn't 2 seconds later been like, all right, you can throw it in me. You know, whatever. There's a good chance that as she started to walk away, it clicked for her, like, this dude is not loyal. He needs a little taste or else he's gonna fucking take his ships and dip if I drag him along too long. But I don't really know. Maybe she was just lonely. Like, she doesn't have any cousins to fuck right now, and that upsets her. Yeah, because I've seen it all over Twitter, too. People are using it in a very funny way and in a very disparaging way, also. She clearly likes his arrogance, but hates other aspects of him. Maybe she said just the tip for now, right? Who knows? Maybe they just did OTPHJ. I don't know. That was my next thought, Schwaggy, was, like, as she tells him, like, get the fuck out, because he makes the comments about, like, the Fat King, you know, Robert Baratheon, and she comments on how, like, he wasn't good in the sack, and then he goes one step further and comments on something that, like, no one really does, which was on her brother, you know, commenting on, like, well, what about the Kingslayer? And she is like, you like risking your neck. And he's all like, yeah, totes do. And then she's like, cool, you're arrogant and I like that, but, like, it's time for you to get the fuck out. And on his way out, he puts his hand on her stomach and she had that, like, moment of hesitation. And he tells her he's gonna put a prince in there. And her reaction was interesting. That was one of the things I thought, Thraknar. So if she is pregnant, the timing, it would be, I think, pretty easy for her to convince dude that it's his kid. Because if she does not, which could have been the reason why she was like, ooh, maybe I do need to bang you. Because if she does not let him believe that that is his kid and she winds up pregnant while they're courting, there's no chance that he's going to go through with it. And if he does, he's going to kill the kid. Like, there's no way he's going to be like, oh, that's cool. That'll just be like my stepson or something. You know, that's not quite how it works. James, it's a DX Racer. So, do you think Cersei is actually pregnant? Do you think that she banged him to try and pretend it's his kid? Thanks, Mercy. And thank you again for the 5. And where are the elephants? You do think she's pregnant and you do think she's going to try and say that it's his? Interesting. Yeah, and why she, like, hesitated for a second, J-Balls. Like, it could have been that she was hesitating because she was like, damn, really haven't, like, gotten my rocks off in a while. And this guy's so cocky. Maybe he's good at it, you know? Or it was like, shit, I'm getting to that point where it's going to be evident that I'm pregnant. Interesting. And the prophecy thing, that was something Jaws mentioned, I think, earlier. Like, that's the thing that makes it tougher. Does that mean that, like, she's not going to survive because the prophecy said she would have 3 kids and they would all die? And that she would lose her crown to a younger or, like, a more beautiful or something like that queen? It was something about she would have 3 kids, but then they would all be taken from her, and then the final part was that, like, she would be a queen or be the queen, but then that title would be taken from her by someone else more fair. And I think initially she thought that was her son's wife, which, wow, I've been so excited about this that I literally can't think of names right now. Marjorie, thank you. In the book, it says that she dies at the hands of her younger brother. Interesting. Oh, that would be really interesting too, Albeck. Do we know if her, I was just gonna say, do we know if she was born before Jamie? Ooh, shit, son. There are a lot of people who think that Jamie is gonna be the one, as J-Ball says it, that's gonna kill her, because he clearly turned on her. And his weird little thing with Brienne, loved it. Thanks, Smokey. Like, I still ship Tormund Brienne, but I loved Jamie Brienne. Or Arya disguised as Jamie. In the preview. Oh, we'll talk about that when we get to the preview. Never mind. Because at the end of this, we'll watch the preview for next episode together. And we'll discuss that as well. Interesting, Burger. Ooh, it really would 6 to midnight. Wow. Interesting. Ooh. Wow, Wolfie. I think Olenna got to Jamie a little bit. I think a lot of things got to Jamie, especially when he was like preparing the defense or not preparing the defense. He was preparing the troops to like go march up to Winterfell or to the wall to like help. And she's like, "You're stupid. Why would you think that? That's stupid. You're stupid." And then he's like, "But sister lover, what the fuck? You said you were gonna do that. I thought you were really nice." And she's like, "No, dude, the only thing that matters is this bun you put in my oven." And that's him like walking away, that scene where I honestly thought that he was gonna get hurt. Maybe not killed, but I thought he was gonna get hurt and she was gonna try to swing him, but she let him go. Which leads us to our next scene. Poor fucking Bronn. How many times has this poor dude been lining up to get his dick wet, and then out of nowhere, someone comes in and interrupts him, and he doesn't get to get his nut off? This poor fucking guy. There's some different theories relating to the dire wolves. I'm interested to discuss that for sure. He just wants that castle and to get his dick wet, right? Ugh. So, poor Bronn. He's trying to bang these 3 lovely ladies, and they keep talking about the battle where all of these people got killed by dragons, which was probably horrific for him because he was there, right? And like right when he finally gets it in for a little bit and tells them like, "Hey, can we stop talking about the fucking dragons?" Boom, in pops Qyburn, and poor Bronn has to pull out, tell the women to get out. The funniest shit there was the blonde girl who hits on Qyburn, saying how she really loves older men, and he's like, "Oh, poor girl, Pox will take her in a year," and Bronn's like, spits out his drink. Which one? Poor dude doesn't even get an answer. So now, in addition to all of this shit, Bronn's worried that he's like just contracted the pox from this chick's puss. Poor dude. Poor fucking Bronn. And like, okay, when this scene first started and Qyburn is like, "The queen wants to pay you in advance and there's wagons of gold out there," I honestly was like, oh my god, are they gonna kill him? Is she still mad at him? Because she was asking Jamie, "Are you going to punish him?" And she was talking about Bronn setting up the private meeting between Jamie and Tyrion. So I thought for sure, as the scene began, that this was a scheme to get him out of the castle so they could kill him. And then it gets to the queen's brothers made promises to you and broke them, and she wants to rectify that. Queen's brothers are unlikely to survive their northern adventures, but if they do, and then he hands him the crossbow, which we saw with Joffrey being a crazy monster with Raz, and which we again saw when Tyrion fucking gutted his dad on the shitter. Rough. So Qyburn clearly thinks it's kind of funny that she has a keen sense of poetic justice. But basically, he re-emphasizes, "The queen did all this great stuff for me. You know, when I got booted from the citadel, she made me the hand to the queen. What would she do for the man who rids her of her treasonous brothers? and then hands over the crossbow, and Bronn's look was very conflicted. Do you think he will actually try to kill them? Either of them? Or do you think that he's about to take that gold and go and finally listen to Tyrion's offer of, like, whatever it is, remember, I'll double it. I can't imagine him killing Tyrion or Jaime. Because you forget, like, sometimes, I forget sometimes, that, like, he had a little special moment with both of them. Dude, if Bronn turns out to be an asshat after all of this, because you really never know, like, he probably is a little bit pissed at Jaime for constantly getting him out and about and, like, taking away all of his spoils of war and shit, right? Ugh. That's the important thing we need to remember, right? Yasar, like, this is Game of Thrones. You really never fucking know. Oh, you think he's gonna go and get her from the dungeons? I hadn't even considered that because there was no, like, reference or thoughts of her. That's the thing. He is a mercenary, and he made it clear to Tyrion, we're not friends. Like, I like that you pay me. Yes, because he knew it was a losing battle, Graveyard. He was like, yeah, what good is all this money if I can't spend it? The fucking mountain is gonna kill me. I forgot about that, Cha-Cha. True, true. But when he did that, I think Jaime even commented, like, on how he risked his life for him. And he's like, yeah, because you're my insurance ticket. Like, he's not going to get the money from Cersei or from Jaime if Jaime's dead. It was part of the reason why he defended Tyrion for so long, because he wanted the payout. Like, I'm pretty sure when he pulled him out of the water, he even commented that and said something to the effect of, like, you can't go killing until I get paid. I have seen that theory. We can get to that after we get through the scenes so we don't bounce around too much. Like, I want to get through everything that happened in the show, and then we can go wild, okay? So, TLDR on that scene there. Poor Bronn, trying to get his dick wet, doesn't have a chance, has been asked to kill the brothers. No, please start at the beginning, Jimmy. It is a very extensive and expansive world. Like, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. He did say that. Oh shit, you're right. He did all back. Interesting. Okay, so we already talked about the pregnancy thing with Euron. Moving on, next scene. So while Euron is banging the queen, thinking that he's putting a prince in her belly, Theon goes onto the crew. Did you know that that was Rob Mac? I don't know how you say his name. Mac from It's Always Sunny. The first kill on the ship when fucking Theon shows up was the dude from It's Always Sunny. I was like, what? I didn't even notice it. I was looking at him like, why does this dude look familiar? But they did a great job with the makeup and shit. And then I saw it on Twitter this morning. How hilarious. Random. Amazing. Anyway, so he opens the door, like they kill all the people and stuff. Opens the door to where Yara is and frees her. And in, like, typical Ironborn fashion, she headbutts the fuck out of him right away. But then extends a hand and is like, hey, so I feel like we're even here because of that. Ed the Ginger. No, what did I miss? Baka? Oh, that's funny. Okay, that makes sense now. Anyway, so obviously she's a little peeved that he jumped into the water, but grateful that he grabbed her. So then they're on the ships, they're heading back to the Iron Islands, And she even comments on how they need that space so that Daenerys has someplace to retreat in case, and someplace the dead can't go, which someone even commented earlier, like, now that they have a fucking flying ice dragon, that's not quite valid, but whatever. So he, in like a split second, shows enough clearly that his interest in going back to help the Starks. So even though he didn't say it and instead just said, "You're my queen, I go where you command," she right away was like, "You want to go to Winterfell to fight for the Starks, go." But this time she didn't say it in a shitty way. She actually said it in a nice way. Like, she clearly sees that he has some kind of special loyalty there and that there's nothing weird or wrong about it. Then they, hug and say what is dead may never die, which is a funny choice of like house words given everything. Anyway. But then she says, they say what is dead may never die, but kill the bastards anyway. So I cannot help but think, like, why do they have those words? Where did that come from? Like, I know it's from the drowned god, but I'm interested in like all of the mythology behind this too. We cannot watch it on stream, no. Theon is on a redemption arc though. He is, and like, man, they really do a wonderful job of making all of these characters so complex. As soon as you think you hate someone, they're like, yo, but also watch how much like this person endured before making that decision, Yeah, that was one of the first things I said, is she wants Dany to have this escape area, but I don't think she's aware that there's a flying ice dragon now. Yeah, that's true, but where does that come from, right? There's a reason why that tradition came to be, Wolfie. Yeah, for sure. Minus the flying ice dragon. Ooh, the Sir Roderick scene. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, man. Okay, so next scene, we're back at Winterfell. The Karstarks are arriving, and then we see Tyrion, Varys, and Davos Seaworth walking around and talking, because for whatever reason, that seems to be like the running theme in this show, that people just like to walk and talk. I get it. It happens. And Davos is trying to explain that no one really knows or likes outsiders, and the only way to do that is to earn their loyalty. And Tyrion's like, I sense a proposal is coming. And he's like, yeah, a proposal is what I'm proposing. And then they look out, they see Jon and Daenerys being cute, and they're like, they do make a handsome couple. And Varys comments, like, very, I think, appropriately given what we've learned this episode, nothing lasts. So I think maybe he doesn't have the same faith in their relationship than like the other two do. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then we switch over and we see Daenerys and Jon talking, and like right away she's talking about how your sister doesn't like me, and she says she doesn't need to be my friend, but I am her queen. If she can't respect me ... And then we move on to the Dothraki showing up and being like, hey, your little baby dragons, they're not eating enough. And then, they go to hang out with them and go fly, which was really cool. How Jon, like, kind of got the hang of it. Poor Jon's balls. Where's Ghost, by the way? Where the fuck is that dog? The wolf, I mean. The scene in front of the waterfall where Daenerys says, like, we could stay 1,000 years, no one would find us. That kind of reminded me of when he was in, like, the caves with Ygritte, and they were talking about staying there. I don't know. And then they start trying to smooch, and the dragons are like... So, do the dragons know that he was about to bang his aunt? Is that why they were all like... Or is it just like, that's our mom and you're about to, like, throw it in her and that's not awesome? You think that Bran warged into Drogon? But isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. It's only evident on him. That would be cool if he could, though, right? That would be cool. Yeah, except they're like fucking giant monstrous ones. I have a feeling too, and I still think Nymeria is coming back. Like I loved the "That's Not You" nod to season 1 with Nymeria when Arya stumbled upon her. But I am interested in like where that goes, because Nymeria is now big and swole and has a whole pack of her own. Is she gonna come running in at the end and try and fight and like defend against the White Walkers? That was my thought too, Graveyard. Is like Jon goes up to Rhaegal, and Rhaegal's like, sure, go ahead, hop on. Like, is it because he is about to ride the dragon named for his biological dad? Like, can they sense that family tie? Is that also why they were nice to Tyrion? Because, like I said, in the books, there's kind of a lot of hinting that he might also be Targaryen. Yeah, and we saw Nymeria. We saw her. Remember her and Arya were face to face, dripping? Oh, that makes sense too, 6 to midnight. Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that too. Like the true dragon, a dragon cannot be harmed by fire. But he did burn his hand. Remember? Because he grabbed the lantern. Yeah. He tried to save, what's his face? Him and Ghost saved, Lord Commander Mormont. So what does that mean? If he's not, like, a true dragon, is that what it is? Just because he's half Stark? Like, he has, like, the blood of the dragon, but not enough of it to where he doesn't, like, hurt himself? Oh, is that all it is? Like, you can only do that if you're a fucking child of incest? Then you have, like, full powers of, like, not getting burnt? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Viserys also got burned. He fucking did, but Daenerys, though, And you don't even know what the fuck we're talking about, Major, which is why it's, like, especially comical. Literally got smelted. Fuck that bitch. Maybe, Yassar, maybe. Maybe it's just a special Daenerys thing. Because she talks about having dreams that come true and having kind of her own little special magic. And it's never been a thing before her. Okay, dope. So it is just her being magical. So she truly is like the blood of the dragon, has some kind of special connection there. Got it. I'm glad that you knew that. Oh my god, right? Right, Wolfie? Yeah, that was a great fucking ending. So in the books, I want to say, and in some of the stuff I read, Schwaggy, I think there was some speculation on Arya having that capability as well. It does, Smokey. You made me watch what how many times? Oh, him getting melted? Dude, I've seen that so many times. It would have just been adding to it. Don't mind me, I'm just getting this tube finished. Oh, little doobie. All right. Great. Great. Yeah, we're moving on to the next scene because I was waiting for you guys to wrap up too. Fuck, maybe it wasn't in the book, Drippin'. I haven't read the books recently, so this might have been a fan theory that I'm mixing stuff up. But I remember hearing something or reading something somewhere that was talking about Arya potentially like riding into battle on the back of Nymeria or like using her, like warging with her or something. I don't remember. I'm probably fucking it up. So don't worry about me. We'll just carry on. Okay, so we're moving on. We're on the next scene. So we're checking out our beloved Gendry. No! We're checking out our beloved Gendry. He's doing some blacksmithing with all of the dragon glass. And one of his little customers comes in, and it's the Hound. And the Hound basically just wants like a big ass fucking axe made out of dragon glass, which is pretty cool. And as he's kind of giving Gendry a little bit of shit, talking about how like all of the people who make weapons for the wildlings are, I forget what he calls them, something unkind. We talked about that a little while ago. Arya pops up and is just like, yo, fuck off, bud. That's my friend. Fuck off. And he turns around and sees her, and you see that like little like glint in his eye of like, oh, I like her. She's like my annoying little sister. And the first thing he says is, you left me to die. Her response, goddamn, what a badass little chick. First, I robbed you. Like, yes, you did, girl. Yes, you did. And that scene was incredible because she clearly cared for him, but she also knew that he killed her friend, the butcher's boy, and that in general, he was kind of a monster, right? Like, he's on a redemption arc as well, but yeah, yikes. But they have this nice little face-to-face, and then he says, you're a cold little bitch, aren't you? Guess that's why you're still alive. And kind of smirks and walks off, and she's just like, Then, her and Gendry have this real cute little moment together. Are they flirting? Are we gonna see some Arya Gendry stuff going down? Like, are they gonna start making smooches at each other? I love them. Him making all the jokes about her being a lady like he did when he first commented on how she's clearly not a boy. And it was real cute. I enjoyed that a bunch. Flirty pants. There was some flirty. That was like the most, aside from when she hugged Jon, that was the most I think we've seen her smile was when she was with Gendry. Which I really love because I like Gendry as a character and I love the fuck out of Arya, right? And he comments on something about like her being a rich girl or like all the other rich girls. And she's just like, you don't know any other rich girls, and like spins and smirks and walks away. I'm like, oh my God, the cuteness. But more importantly, though, no, that's Podrick, J-Balls. More importantly, she hands him that design. What the fuck does she want him to build for her? What was that? Does anyone have any idea?
It's about tending to the broken parts inside of ourselves.
Well, clearly some kind of weapon, because she's going to him for it. But for what? A staff? Is that what it was that split in the center?
Our perception of self.
Like a spear? Yeah, she's very casual in handling the dagger because she's a little badass. She don't care.
Rather, it is a state of
An attachment for needle. Oh, she did train with a staff. That's true. So she's well trained with needle, and she also is well trained with a staff.
like water.
The hilt did look interesting. It was very weird. Oh, that felt great. Who is it for? What is it for? Why does she need it? Was it because of the White Walker thing? Like, does she want something made out of dragon glass that is, like, very similar? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe? Yeah? Oh, Okay, Shadow. Probably gonna use it to kill Cersei? Fuck, that would be great. Okay. Moving on to the next scene. Yeah, but like, how far can you get with a dagger versus... I don't know. With her going after the White Walkers. I mean, she wanted it made in Dragonglass, so like, that's not a weapon she's getting made for personal vendetta at that point, right? Oh my god, I want that and I want Jon Snow to see it too. I can't wait until everyone sees that Arya's a little badass now. And I'm very interested in seeing how her and Daenerys get along. Okay. So, we are on the next scene. Sansa's in her chambers. She's reading a scroll. Jon Snow shows up and talks to her, and she comments right away that Lord Glover is not coming. And he's like, what the fuck, dude? I thought he said that he was going to stand behind House Stark. And she was like, no, by the way, he actually said I will stand behind Jon Snow, the king in the north. And he reminded her again, he didn't really want a crown. He just wants to protect everyone. Like, his interest is protecting the north, which we have seen over and over again. The titles do not matter to him. But he does ask her kind of like one of those nice like family things, like, do you have any faith in me at all? And she said, yeah, I do. And then he's like, she's gonna be a good queen for all of us. She's not her father. And then comes the kind of like almost petty side. No, she's much prettier. And I told my man when we were watching this, I told him that she was gonna comment on her looks in the same way that Catelyn did when Robb married what's-her-face. Like, yes, I'm sure it was true love, you know? Because they were very attractive. And he kind of doesn't comment on that. And then she just goes right in and says, did you bend the knee to save the North? Or because you love her? And Jon hesitated. And then the scene ends. Does he love her? Do they love each other? Like, how does that happen when they find out the truth, when both of them know it? Like, how weird. Yeah, but her father burned people alive just because he felt like it. Like, she said she didn't want to be a captor. She didn't want to have slaves or people in cells. She didn't have any way to do that, so it was like either bend the knee or die. I kind of think in that sense it made sense. It's not the same as like the Mad King saying burn them all. What if she gets pregnant, though? Because you remember there was a little hint when Jon and Daenerys were talking when they first went and approached Cersei about all of them joining forces, where she says something about like how she'll never have children. And he's like, who told you that? And she told him like, oh, some crazy witch bitch who killed my husband. And then his response was like, did it ever occur to you that she might not be a reliable source for information? And you see her kind of like, think for a second. It is normal for Targaryens. Like, in the books, she talked about how she was preparing to wed her brother, like, her whole life, until he sold her off, basically, to Khal Drogo. Because it's a great show, James. Who knows, Wolfie? But I guess if he was immune to fire, that would go against what Sharky was saying had already come out. Because George, like, basically, the author had basically said, like, she is the first of her kind to do this. A pick of the weapon? Oh, the thing that she asked for? Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. Hi, Flatman. to the ice fire. That would be interesting, Beatty. That's a theory I saw something about earlier today, too, is like, what if the Mad King went crazy because the original Three-Eyed Raven was doing kind of like what Bran did to Hodor? Yeah, Thomas is talking about it right now. Whew, okay, so we're on the next scene, guys. This was the hardest one to watch. Like, I don't know if this was harder to watch than the Red Wedding for me. No fucking lie. This scene was when Jorah and Daenerys went and approached Samwell to thank him for curing Jorah. And unfortunately, during that time, finds out that his dad got killed. And he's, you know, trying to suck it up because obviously he loved his dad even though his dad was a dickbag. So he's trying to get a little, like, he's trying to get through it and look on the bright side. And he's like, well, at least I'll be allowed back home now that my brother is Lord. And then Daenerys tells him, your brother stood with him. Oof. And then he cries. And I fucking couldn't. Oh my god. I probably broke my boyfriend's hand on this part because I was squeezing it so hard because it hurt me so much because his brother was always nice to him and he liked his brother. Ugh. It was terrible. It was terrible. Well, Sam is still technically part of the Night's Watch, right? Well, I don't know, because was he, like, released from his vows when he went to the Citadel? Because if he still goes based on, like, that, he's either set to be a maester, which means no land and titles, or he's set to be a man of the Night's Watch, which means no land or titles. Right, Alpha? You loved this scene? You're a monster. I mean, shit, man, if Cersei can claim the Iron Throne, anyone can claim anything, right? Hi, Tatas. That's true, that's true. Ugh, how terrible, though. How terrible. So, he asks to get the fuck out because he just found out that his new queen is responsible for the death of his family. And he runs right into Bran, who is still chilling there waiting for an old friend. And he right away says, it's time to tell Jon the truth. And Samwell's like, no, bro, like, you should probably tell him, like, you're his brother. And at that moment, you know, Bran the Buzzkill reminds him again, like, I'm not his brother. Because not only is he now, like, the Three-Eyed Raven, but technically they're not related in that same way, right? Instead, he's his cousin? Whatever. So he goes and meets Jon in the crypts while Jon is lighting candles for Ned, which I know a lot of you guys caught up on that as well, or caught this as well, like the whole next time we see each other, we'll talk about your mother. And then he's in front of Ned's, like, memorial statue thing when the truth about his mother comes clear, or comes to be. So he tells him all of the stuff, you know, lets him know. Well, first of all, he asks if he knew that his brother and uncle, or brother and dad, were executed. And Jon seems very unhappy knowing this. And I don't know if he was expecting maybe Daenerys to tell him. I don't know how he felt about it, but he didn't seem too thrilled about it. Like, not knowing, especially because Sam is his bud. So he seemed peeved, but he said he didn't know, and then said something about how he wasn't even a king. And then Samwell drops that amazing line, I'm not talking about the king in the north, I'm talking about the king of the 7 bloody kingdoms. Wow. And then tells him, like, Bran and I worked it out, your mother was Lyanna Stark, she married Rhaegar, you've never been a bastard, you're Aegon Targaryen, king of the Iron Throne. And Jon does not seem happy about it. the first thing he brings up was how his father was the most honorable man in the world. So the idea of him lying to him really bothered him. But then it was clear, like, you know, Sam let him know, well, here's how we kind of believe it went down. He knew that you would get killed because you were now the next in line. You had just, or Ned had just won the Iron Throne for Robert, so Robert would have had you killed. Like, there's no chance that you would have survived, right? So he seems to be not super thrilled to have found out this, but it looks like it's kind of sinking in. And then you see Lyanna in the background, which was kind of interesting too. I wonder if that was just kind of a deliberate little bit of cinematography. And then he says, Daenerys is our queen. And Sam says she shouldn't be. And right away he's like, that's treason, bro, because totally is. And then the fucking final blow was, you gave up your crown to save our people. Would she do the same? And then it's just like, we're not going to talk about this anymore right now. Do you think she is going to react kindly to this? Do you think she's going to believe it? Is Bran capable of, like, sharing his visions with anyone? Does he have the ability to, like, take them and be like, look, dudes, I know you don't want to believe me, but here, let's put this all together? I don't imagine she will take it well, especially because one of her main claims is that it is her birthright, right? I don't imagine her being like, so my whole purpose was this, like, being my birthright, and I'm also, like, a kind and just ruler, so this is a good thing. Now it's suddenly gonna be like, well, shit, technically this is your birthright? Fuck. Yeah, but Bran was, like, in training to be the next three-eyed raven, right? So that's a little different than, like, sharing visions with someone who isn't. You think Jon will forfeit the throne? I think, depending on, like, what they're setting up for here, they may be trying to flip things to where Daenerys winds up being kind of the villain. Maybe not full-on villain, but maybe there is going to be a little bit of a battle here, and Jon is going to have to step up. But if they're trying to get married, then it really doesn't matter either way. I don't know that she would want to kill him unless he completely defies her, but I don't know. Because she gave Jorah a ton of second chances, and, you know, she didn't even, you know, with him. I don't know. I don't know that I would consider her power hungry in the same way that I would, like, Cersei. Because she clearly wants the throne, but not because she wants everyone to bow to her. It's because she wants things to be better run. Like, she wants to get rid of slavery, and she wants people to have a ruler who is kind and fair. Maybe, Shweevy, maybe. Jon also has way different intentions than she did up until this point. Jon's focus was being on the Night's Watch, and then, you know, the Night King and the fucking Army of the Dead. Her focus, until she joined forces with Jon, was all about retaking her throne. And there's that whole Azor Ahai thing, right? Yeah, that's true. Jon killed that fucking kid. The kid who stabbed him in the heart. Ollie was a little shitbag. I agree. Like, I feel like people have a hard time trying to accept, like, what... Like, Ollie, obviously, I just didn't get why he didn't understand how necessary what they were doing was, right? Like, he's a young dude, but how do you guys not see that, like, he made it clear, if they die out there, then they're gonna be against us. Like, no more of this us and them. It's alive or dead, right? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm wondering what her role is gonna be in this. And she had that moment with Varys last season where she was talking about how she had to go back to Westeros because it was her destiny to die there, much like it was his. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I understand that they killed his parents, but aside from that, like, again, the main point here is everyone lost something. Everyone was battling them for a long time, but if they don't get through the wall safely, then they're coming through the wall as, you know, murderers, as the undead. Okay, so we're on the next scene now. Where was that? Where did the Umbers come from? Is that Hardhome? So we're on the next scene. We see Tormund and what's his face with the flaming sword. They're in like this area, Last Hearth. Thank you. So they're in at the Last Hearth. They're browsing through, you know, they're perusing through these aisles. They're trying to check and see what's going on. Thank you. I knew I was mixing that up, but I couldn't put it together. Six. Thank you. So they're going through there, and then they run into the other Night's Watch dudes, like Ed and all of them, which was cool. Calls him out for having blue eyes, and Tormund's like, I've always had blue eyes, which was really cool, because he's always fucking hilarious. And he asks if they had found anyone, and then Ed and the Night's Watch dudes bring them to the kid, the Umber boy, who is, like, pinned up against the wall with this swirl. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this on Twitter and wherever it is that you go. That pattern of the swirl we have seen several times throughout all of the seasons. There are so many theories on this, one of them being that it kind of looks similar to the Targaryen crest. But I don't know personally if I buy the Targaryen thing, because it seems a lot more like everything was leading us to believe that the Night's, not the Night's Watch, the Night King was a Stark. It looks similar to Targaryen crest, but I don't think it is. For me personally, like, I don't know anything, but is that what it is? That's what a lot of people are thinking too, is it's just like a symbol of like the children of the forest or the first men. Yeah, but did not predate the Starks. Who knows? No, Phoenix. They killed lots of people. I fucking hope so, Def. I completely ship Tormund and Brienne. Like, yes, let them bang and have amazing giant warrior babies. Yes. Did anyone else think that, like, when they set this particular, like, the Umber boy, when they killed him, or when he was, like, brought back to life and then tried to kill them and they burned him, did anyone else think that thing screamed more than the other White Walkers they've killed in the past? I know, I really like Jaime and Brienne as well, but, like, there is something about the way that Tormund stares at him that stares at her that I just fucking love. Like, he wants to eat her for dinner. So you think that it was, like, a little bit deliberate somehow, the screaming? Like, what was that all about? Just the one they captured? Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Like, is this like a signal or something? Oh, that could be. That could be. That it was just because it was like in a closed room. Same, Graveyard. Same. Is that all it was? And I guess we haven't seen many of them burn alive. Usually they get like cut up first. Interesting. Or just like bashed through until they fall into little bones. Okay. We're almost through the whole episode and then we can just go wild. So we're on the next scene. We're back at Winterfell. We see Jaime sneaking in. He dismounts. He sees Bran right away. By the way, did he dye his hair? His hair looked darker. In like the briefest of seconds, it almost looks like Jaime is just suddenly like reminded of who he was, right? Because seeing Bran coming face to face with like, yo, dude, look at what you did. Remember who you were and who you did this for. Like, it was, man, the acting in the show is incredible. But that was like, oh. So I was like jumping up and down in my seat, freaking out. And then, of course, that's when the fucking episode ends. That's what I was wondering, Twisted. Was like, this just supposed to be like him kind of being dirty because he traveled? Or did he try and dye it somehow? I'm waiting for an old friend. Yes, because like, I don't think Bran holds, you know, Bran the Buzzkill. I don't think he holds grudges anymore since he's not him. And since that set him on the path to becoming the Three-Eyed Raven. No, not a big deal for Bran, but still I think a big deal for Jaime, who clearly like had difficulty with how he was viewed, how everyone always called him Kingslayer, even though to him, like, he was totally in the right for what he did, right? Because he had been asked by the Mad King to kill his own relatives and then burn everyone. He was a different person then. He was motivated by completely different things. Like, he has slowly turned honorable. She went to be with her family. Cora, wow, that was weird. Wolfie. She said that she was gonna go hang out with her family, and he was like, okay, thanks. And she was like, bro, like, my brother died for you, and all you have is just, okay, thanks. And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm Bran the Buzzkill now. This is all I do. So that was the end of the episode. So I'm going to find the preview for... And then we can just go full wild with our nerding out, okay? Josh, thanks for that. Okay, before we get into this, one more comment about the scene with the screaming kid. Do tell. What are your thoughts, my friend? Oh, frick. I am so hyped as well. Yeah, I wonder if she honestly didn't expect him to leave. If she thought that, like, she still had him enough that he would turn around and come back. For real, Viper. But I'm talking about, like, after he left the room, I don't know if she expected him to leave. Not just storm out of the room upset and then come back in and then they'll bang next to another dead body. But, like, I don't know if she was expecting him to actually leave King's Landing and go north. Yes. That's true, Schwaggy. I'm interested in seeing where he goes too. But wait, that's not... Is that Lightbringer? Is that the sword? Or is Lightbringer the one that is supposed to be, like, forged in some kind of special way? Interesting, Brock. Yeah, I think that's just, like, a cool trick that he can just, like, light it. It is. Interesting, Schwaggy. Interesting. Huh. No, that's Oathkeeper. Drippin'. Because he gave it to Brienne. Okay, we're gonna watch this trailer now.
When I was a child, my brother would tell me a bedtime story about the man who murdered our father. About all the things we would do to that man. He never should have trusted Cersei. You never should have either.
Death. She's got many faces. I look forward to seeing this one.
How long do we have?
Before the sun comes up tomorrow.
So much is going on there. Dude, like, we really do have to start prepping ourselves knowing that someone we love is dying. Because we're down to, like, key cast at this point. We are down to the most fucking lovable, the most badass, the strongest. They will not all survive this. There is no fucking way. Who are we about to lose? I know, probably a lot of them, right? Half the main cast? I agree, dude. I really think we're gonna lose a lot of people. Jorah. Ooh. You think that Jaime and Tyrion will die? That's interesting. I know. Oh my god. When Sam banged what's her name? Gilly, and he's all like broken from defending her, and she hops on and just like, oh my. What the fuck? It was so good. You think the Hound is gonna die for Arya? Ooh, I could see that. Dude, the dragon battle, it's like heartbreaking because the dragons are so smart and they got a brother out there that isn't their brother anymore. We are still talking Game of Thrones. That could happen, Shweevy. Them and the Red Woman. Who knows what her role is gonna be. Euron better fucking die. He really... I would love for him to be one of the early ones, but... who knows? Because really, if Cersei can pretend it's his kid, she can make it seem more legitimate, and then she doesn't need him around anymore. Thank you for the resub. I just realized, like, I'm not going to hit the gong because I'm trying to keep alerts from distracting from this since this is going to go on YouTube. But I appreciate you a bunch. Melisandre specifically said that she has to die in that foreign place, as does Varys, though. So at some point, both of them are done for. Oh, man. That was... okay, so Cha-Cha, one of the things I was watching earlier was talking about fan theories and stuff, and one of the theories that they have based on the books and the whole Lady Stoneheart thing is that because the Night King can raise people from the dead, that if he makes it to Winterfell, which is a natural destination once he goes through the wall, he could go to the crypts and just be like, "Sup, bros?" And he could raise all of the dead Starks in the crypts. So there are some people who think that Lady Stark, that Catelyn, is going to come back as Lady Stoneheart when that happens. If that happens. Yara needs to be the one to kill Euron. Yeah, either her or fucking Theon. Is she there? She died at the Red Wedding? I don't know. Because it, like, a lot of the bones seem to have made their way there at that point, at some point, but I don't know if hers ever did, given the nature of how everything shifted, right? I think so too, Shweevy, which is lame. Yes, if you thought this had a happy ending, you weren't paying attention. God, it's the truth. Oh, and it's so terrible that it has to be the truth. I don't want it to be the truth. Oh, stretch my back more, guys. I think I slept weird. She was taken to River Run? Okay. That's what I'm saying, Thomas. So, like, Cersei thinks she's being smart, let them kill each other, but I don't think they made it clear to her that if they get killed, they're still her enemies. Like, they're gonna be raised from the dead, and now she's got an even larger army of the dead marching south. Like, I think she genuinely believes that whatever it is that they battle out with each other is gonna be fine, and then she'll deal with whoever's left, and they'll be weakened, and there will be less of them. I don't think they made it clear enough to her about the little, like, movement, you know? It's crazy, Cha-Cha. It's crazy. Right? Unsullied White Walkers, the fucking dragons, the fucking, Dothraki. Probably, it seems like wildfire is like her main shit, but didn't she use a bunch of that, if not like the majority of it, when she blasted the fucking sept? But I don't think it's as simple as having Qyburn make more wildfire, because when she was having the Order do it, like, they talked about how they had been tasked with that that job for like thousands of years. Like, it's an ancient order, I think, that makes wildfire. I don't think it's a Citadel thing, like a Maester's thing. She definitely has some kind of scheme. And that's the elephant thing that I kept thinking, like, did the elephants somehow play into this? The pyromancers, thank you. Honestly, Qyburn is a capable dude and he's real creepy, so he probably could figure out a way to do that, if not something similar. Or maybe he'll just turn a bunch of people into monsters like the fucking Mountain. Ooh, and the Clegane Bowl, whenever that happens, Mountain versus the Hound, that's gonna be cool. Yeah, they both used a lot of the wildfire, for sure. Qyburn seems to be not as much just straight evil as, like, deviant, Shweevy. You know, like, he seems to be a little smarter, but he just also wants to experiment and be weird and creepy. That would be a lot of food for the North, that's true. You think that's all it was? Is just that she wanted, like, the show of strength death? Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially since Euron already killed a couple of them. How good can the Gold Cloaks be? Oh, she was going to Essos to bring back the other Red Priestess? I did not remember that. Oh, the one that was all sassy with Tyrion and Varys and talked about how he got his stuff cut off. Yeah, Golden Company. Yeah, I knew what you were talking about, not Gold Cloaks. Derp. Okay, then you probably don't want to be in here right now, Chicago. We're wrapping up, though. Yeah, yep. I know what you're saying. It was definitely a little derp. It's all good. I don't know. Bronn is an unpredictable character. Like, I know we all want to love him, but he was a sellsword. He made it clear to both brothers multiple times that his loyalty was to himself and his wallet. Shit. I don't know. Like, I want to know what she was leading to when she was like, but if she can't respect me... You don't think he could do it? Yeah, Bronn was just trying to get his dick wet, man. You think that Bronn will kill the ice dragon? Oh, he did comment to the sex workers that he was the only person to have ever injured a dragon or whatever. You think he would kill Jaime, but not Tyrion? Oh man, they have a history, like all of them. Both of them have fucked his life up a bunch. Let's discuss the direwolves theory for a second. What do you want to share about the direwolves thing? I can't wait to see Ghost again. We should fucking take some bets on whether Bronn is gonna attempt to kill them at all. Like, if he attempts and stops, if he doesn't attempt at all, or if he actually does it. He risked his neck for Jaime, but right after he did it, he reminded Jaime that he did it because Jaime owes him. I don't know that they are. Same, especially after what happened to Summer. So one of the theories was interesting about how it wasn't about all the characters dying with their direwolves. It was about them being connected in a different way. Like, Jon Snow's wolf being named Ghost, and then Jon kind of is a ghost because he was dead and then was brought back to life. And Sansa's wolf was named Lady, which was all she had ever wanted to be, but it also turned out to be kind of her detriment. Nymeria was the name of a warrior princess, which is all Arya has ever wanted to be, and now she is. Then there was Shaggy Dog, which doesn't really count, I guess, for anything, and not Nymeria, Summer. Yeah, there's some kind of connection there, but I don't know if it's just about, like, their death. Let's talk about the symbol. Do you know something about it? And they clearly deviated from the books quite a bit, Brock. Like, the first one was, like, dead on, which was cool. The symbol looked like a shrimp cocktail. It really did. But with severed limbs instead. Which I guess is kind of the same thing. Shit. That was one of the things that was commented on in this thing I was watching that was talking about, like, the weird connection that everyone has to their wolves. Like, the the ghost lady, Nymeria, and then Bran's wolf being named Summer, and, you know, Winter's obviously there. Maybe it's gonna come back. Yeah, that's what everyone else is saying, that it's a Children of the Forest symbol. There's a lot of people who think it's the Targaryen sigil, but I don't believe that at all. Like, so how many Children of the Forest even exist anymore? Do they live under all werewoods, or just that one that now has gotten blasted? Yeah, totally. I really hope that's the case. I would love to see Nymeria and Ghost teamed up together, too. Like, I imagined Nymeria coming to, like, try and help save the day, but I wasn't thinking about, like, her maybe getting together with her brother wolf. That'd be cool. Because Nymeria already is leading an army of wolves. None? No more Children of the Forest? You think the Night King is Rhaegar? No, because Rhaegar got killed, but I think it's more likely that the Night King is just one of the Starks, based on what they were saying. There's a theory that Bran could somehow, based on all the time travel shit, have been the Night King, but I guess, like, the actor said no. Poor Sam, though. Song requests aren't on right now. We're just talking about Game of Thrones. No, I don't think so either, Shweevy. Song requests are not on, Oliver. Yeah, like, Rhaegar got killed because of him being with Lyanna and everything. Yeah, because he marked him. So we have some confusion, we have some differences of opinion here on whether the Night King is a Targaryen or a Stark. I think Stark. Oh, and even the pattern, someone pointed out in a video I watched earlier, when they did the overview scene at the end of last season where the dragon, like the ice dragon, was flying over all the army of the dead, they were kind of in formation that looked like the Stark sigil. All I think, David, is that it has something to do with the children, but I don't understand why the White Walkers would be using it, you know? Because he controls anything and everything. He controls any creature, like he did the same thing with the horses, he did the same thing with, like, the people. I think if he kills it, he can control it. It has nothing to do with him, like, his bloodline. It's about the power of, like, him. Yeah, the dragon is definitely a Zombo at this point. Because he's not controlling all the dragons erstwhile, you know, he's just got the one that he fucking killed. But it's not even a dragon anymore, it's an undead dragon. Like that, as soon as it gets killed and then brought back to life and becomes like a part of the dead army, it's not a dragon anymore, it's an unthinking, undead zombie. Like it just does whatever it's directed, like all the other things, you know? There's no hint of them having any sense of their former self. They just are dead now. Can I read the question I'm answering before I answer? It depends on what the question is, yeah. I wondered that as well. Like, if it's dead, can he warg into it? I don't know. Like, being the three-eyed raven, does he have that power? Can he warg into the ice dragon? I'm interested to see if he does that. David Kim's if that is a possibility or if that's just like people hoping for Lady Stoneheart kind of stuff. That really would, Six. Because what was Arya running from? She's a little badass. You know she's not running from anything insignificant. The book lore, I'm not as well versed on. Like, I read almost all of them, but it definitely differs a lot. You think she's running from the mountain? That would fit in with what someone was saying earlier, that they think that the Hound is gonna, like, step up. Who knows? Who knows? That's an interesting thought, Shweevy. Like it's just part of the balance. Man, all I know is like to summarize everything we've discussed so far.
Holy f***ing shit.
This is shaping up to be an insane season. How long is the next episode supposed to be? Like how many hours? Is it a single hour one, or are things about to start getting longer? No giggity. The next one is just an hour? Okay. Got it. God, there's so much to it. I just can't even. There must be an animal in the yard. I'm glad you're enjoying this. After 3, it's 2 hours? Nice. Dude, they're saying that the battle, whatever the battle from this season is supposed to make the Battle of the Bastards look like nothing. The Battle of the Bastards was so intense, I can't even imagine. Cannot even imagine. Whew. Okay. Oh, that goes with that. Listen. If there's anything else new we haven't discussed, now is the time. Otherwise, we are going to shut down Game of Thrones discussion stream and switch over to our normal content. Interesting. Damn, it's gonna be an epic battle. Like, they do battle scenes well. 58, 82. Okay, got it. Thank you, Skizzy. Whew. Yeah, right, Cha-Cha? I'm hyped for every bit of this fucking show. I'm hyped for every note of the fucking intro song. I'm hyped for every breath every character takes or has stopped in this show. I have never liked a show this much. I am very interested to see how Daenerys reacts. I think she's gonna be all like, she's gonna freeze up. She's gonna get cold towards him for a little bit at least. Yes, you do, Wolfie. Okay, so just to let you guys know, we have a Discord channel that is dedicated to discussing Game of Thrones nonsense. So if you want to discuss this, because we are going to make this a spoiler-free zone again shortly, make sure you take it to the spoilers channel. That's this one. So go in there and nerd out all you please about Game of Thrones. It'll be wonderful. I'm glad they're not doing breaks. Okay. Yeah, right, Wolfie? You had a great opportunity to power through the seasons, and I'm so glad you did. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all of the discussions about Game of Thrones. Next week, we'll be doing this discussion probably from our Airbnb because we're going to be traveling. So I'll be in California. I'm going to watch the episode. We'll still be doing it, our talk at noon. Probably noon central again on Tuesday. If nothing changes, like I'll make sure to update you guys everywhere I can. But you'll have the same deal. We'll give everyone until at least Tuesday morning to catch up with the episode, and then we'll get into it. So at this point, we are ending all Game of Thrones discussions. Thank you again. I appreciate you a ton.